Picture this. Your phone rings and it's a video call. You answer and there on the screen is your grandson. It's his face, it's his voice, and he's frightened. He says he's been in an accident, he's in trouble, and he needs money right now. Everything in you wants to help. But here is the thing almost nobody tells you. That face and that voice can now be completely fake. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to tell the difference. By the end of this video, you'll be able to look at any video call, from a relative, from your bank, from anyone, and know exactly how to check whether you can trust the person on the screen and what to do about it. We'll play a little game together called real call or fake call. I'll show you the warning signs, and I'll give you one simple move that beats even a perfect fake. And let me say this right at the start. If a call like that would rattle you, you are not foolish, and you are not behind the times. These fakes are now good enough to fool trained professionals at large companies. The fact that you are sitting here, learning how they work, is exactly what is going to keep you safe. Here's why this matters so much right now. The technology to copy someone's face and voice used to take a Hollywood studio. Today it takes a laptop and a few seconds of audio pulled from social media. In 2024, the FBI reported that older Americans lost around $4.9 billion to fraud. And in one case reported by CNN, a company in Hong Kong lost about $25 million after an employee joined a video call where every single colleague on the screen was a deepfake. So here is our plan. First, what one of these fake calls actually is in plain English. Then we'll play real call or fake call and train your eye. Then the live tests you can run right there on the call. And to finish, the one move that works even when the fake is flawless and the family code word that goes with it. Let's begin. First, what a deepfake video call really is. Let's take the mystery out of this. There is now software that can take a photo of a person and a short clip of their voice and paint that face live over a stranger's face while they talk. The stranger moves and the face on your screen moves with them. They speak and it comes out in your loved one's voice. This is not science fiction anymore. It is a tool that criminals can simply rent. These calls come in two main flavors. The first is the family emergency. A grandchild, a son, a daughter in some sudden crisis, needing money this very minute. The second is the authority. Your bank, a government office, even your own boss calling about an urgent problem that only you can fix. Both work the very same way. A face or a voice you trust wrapped around a feeling of panic. Now I'm going to be completely honest with you because it is the most important idea in this whole video. This technology is getting better every single month. So I am not going to teach you to rely only on spotting a glitch, because one day the glitch simply won't be there. Instead, we are going to build a defense that works even if the fake is absolutely perfect. That is the part most people miss. But your own eyes are still useful today, so let's start by sharpening them. Let's play our first round and train your eye. Real call or fake call. Let's play real call or fake call. Round 1. I'm going to describe a call to you exactly the way it would happen on your own phone. I want you to really listen and decide for yourself. Is this a real person or is it a fake? Here's the first one. Your phone lights up with a video call from your granddaughter. Her face fills the screen and she's in tears. There has been a car accident, she says. She's so sorry. She needs money for a lawyer tonight and please don't tell her parents. And she asks you to buy gift cards and read out the numbers on the back. Take a moment. Real or fake? If something inside you said fake, you are absolutely right. And notice this, you did not need to spot a single computer glitch to know it. The call itself told you everything. Let me show you the 4 signals that were hiding in plain sight. 1. Pure urgency. Tonight, right now, this minute. 2. Secrecy. Don't tell her parents, which is the one thing that would have gotten you a second opinion. 3. Money in the exact form scammers love most. Gift cards, which are almost impossible to trace or to get back. And 4. She never let you verify anything. So here is the key lesson. The face was perfect, the voice was perfect, and it did not matter one bit because the pattern was a scam. You just read a scam by its behavior, not by its appearance. And that is the skill that protects you for life. Now let's add the deepfake tells on top of it, the little things your eye can actually catch today. Now, the live tells you can look for on the call. Tell number 1, the edges. The fake is strongest right on the face and weakest at the borders. So watch the hairline, the ears, the edge of the glasses, the line of the chin, especially when the person moves. If you see a faint shimmer there, a wobble, or a little smear right at those edges, that is the mask slipping. Tell number 2, and this is a good one, ask for a full profile. Just say, turn your head and show me your whole ear, your side. A lot of these live fakes are built from front-facing photos, and they fall apart when the head turns all the way to the side. A real person turns without a second thought. A fake very often won't, or simply can't. Tell number 3, the hand test. Ask them to slowly wave a hand right in front of their own face. The software now has to redraw the face around that moving hand, and very often it cannot keep up. The hand smears, the face flickers, the two blur together for a second. A simple wave can break a fake wide open. Tell number 4, the small human things. Watch the lips. Do they line up exactly with the words or drift a little behind? Watch the eyes. Is the blinking natural, or is it too rare or oddly regular? And watch the light. Does the lighting on their face really match the room they say they are sitting in? Fakes very often glow just a little bit wrong. Tell number 5, and it is the most telling of all. Watch how they behave when you ask. A real grandchild will happily turn their head or wave a hand and laugh at you for asking. A fake will dodge. It gets more urgent, more upset, keeps rushing you, refuses to switch to a normal phone call. When someone won't do one simple, harmless thing you ask, that refusal all by itself is your answer. Now here is the honest part I promised you. Every one of those tells works today, but the fakes are improving so quickly that, sooner or later, a perfect one will pass all 5 of them without a flaw. So we never, ever bet your money on catching a glitch. We need one move that works even against a flawless fake. That is next, and it is the most important minute of this entire video. The one move that beats even a perfect fake. Here it is, and it is beautifully simple. Hang up and call the person back yourself on the number you already have for them. Not a number they give you during the call. The number that is already in your phone or your address book. If it's really your grandson, call his own phone. If it's really your bank, call the number printed on the back of your card. And here is why this one move beats everything, even a flawless fake. It does not depend on the picture being imperfect. It moves the whole conversation onto a line that the scammer does not control. Either the real person picks up, safe and a little confused about why you're worried, or they don't, and you have just saved yourself. A genuine caller is always happy for you to hang up and call back. A scammer is terrified of it because the moment you do, their entire story falls apart. Now let's make it even stronger with something you can set up tonight. A family code word. Sit down with your children and your grandchildren and agree together on one private word or a short phrase. Something a stranger could never guess and would never find online. Then if anyone ever calls in a panic asking for money, you simply ask, "What is our word?" The FBI actually recommends doing exactly this. A real family member will know it. A deepfake will not. And here is one more. For the moment you're put on the spot, ask a question that only the real person could possibly answer. Not your birthday, not the name of the dog. Those can be looked up online. Ask something like, "What did we have for dinner the last time you came over?" A stranger wearing your loved one's face will have absolutely no idea. And underneath all of it, the simplest rule of all: slow down. A true emergency is still a true emergency in 5 minutes. Urgency is not a sign that something is real. Urgency is the weapon. So the very moment you feel rushed to send money, let that feeling be the thing that stops you instead of the thing that pushes you forward. What these calls are really after, because notice where every single one of these calls is trying to take you. It is always the same destination. Your money moving fast in a way that simply cannot be undone. Gift cards, a wire transfer, cryptocurrency, a payment app like Zelle or Venmo or Cash App, or that classic line, move your money to a safe account. So hold on to two rules that never bend. 1. No one legitimate, not your bank, not the police, not the government, will ever ask you to move your money in order to keep it safe. The FTC says that plainly. 2. Never buy gift cards or send cryptocurrency for anyone who contacted you. Those two rules all by themselves stop nearly every version of this scam. And here is the hard truth they are counting on you not knowing. Money that you send yourself by transfer, by app, or by gift card is the very hardest kind to ever get back. That is exactly why they push so hard on urgency. They need you to move it before the careful part of your mind can catch up, which is the whole reason we slow down and we call back. One more round. This one is harder. Let's test how far you've come. Here is a trickier one. Your phone rings and it's your bank's fraud department. The person is calm, polite, completely professional. They already know your name. They tell you they have noticed some unusual activity on your account, and then they say this: please hang up and call us back on the number printed on the back of your card so that you know it is really us. Take a moment. Real or fake? This one very likely is real, and look closely at why. It did the exact opposite of a scam. There was no panic, there was no secrecy. It did not ask you to move a single penny. And best of all, it invited you to hang up and call back. That is the behavior of someone with nothing to hide. So no, the goal here was never to make you suspicious of everyone. It is to let you relax about the honest ones and catch the fakes. And one last quick one. A video call from your son. He's relaxed. He turns his head when you ask. He shows you the room behind him. He knows your family code word. And he is not asking you for anything urgent at all. Real. Because by now you can see it. You are not reading the face anymore. You are reading the pattern. And that is the one thing a deepfake can never fake. And if it has already happened to you, now if while watching this, you've realized that something like this already happened to you or to someone you love, please hear me very clearly. You are not alone, and it is not your fault. These are professional criminals using the most convincing tools that have ever existed. What matters now is simply acting quickly. So here is what to do. Call your bank or your card company right away on the real number and tell them exactly what happened. Change the passwords on any account that was involved. Then report it, in America at reportfraud.ftc.gov, in Britain to Action Fraud, in Canada to the Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre, and in Australia to Scamwatch. Reporting it helps them warn the next person. And tell your family out loud with no shame at all, because that is how you protect them too. And one warning for afterward. If a few weeks later, someone contacts you promising to get your lost money back for a fee or in exchange for your bank details, stop right there. That is a second scam, one that hunts people who were already hit once. Real recovery never asks you for money up front. I'll point you to a video all about that one because it matters. So let's pull this all together in a way you can actually use. Take a screenshot of this part if you'd like. First, a face and a voice on a screen can now be completely fake, so they no longer prove anything at all. Second, read the pattern: urgency, secrecy, and a sudden rush to move money. That pattern is the scam, no matter whose face is sitting on top of it. Third, if you want to, run the tells, the edges, the profile, the hand wave, the lips, and the light. But always come back to the one move. And the one move is this: hang up and call back on a number you already trust. Add your family code word and give yourself those 5 slow minutes. Do that, And you are now harder to fool on a video call than most people half your age. Because the scammer's entire plan depends on catching you by surprise. And you have just taken surprise completely off the table. So here is the one thing I'll ask you to do. Forward this video to one person you love, and tonight, agree on your family code word together. That single, 5-minute conversation at the kitchen table can protect your whole family from this. It is the most powerful thing you can do, and it costs nothing at all. And tell me in the comments, did you get round one right? I read every reply. If you'd like to keep getting calm, clear, no-nonsense help like this, go ahead and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. The face on the screen can lie, but now you know exactly how to find the truth. Take care of yourself and take good care of each other.